This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Canine Crew, it's time to just sell the damn thing. Doberman Dan is revealing his contrarian formula for getting a rush of new customers, building your business faster, and making the highest possible profits. Go to justsellthedamnthing.com to get your copy today.
Prepare yourself for the uncensored, nothing held back, no BS reality of how business and life really work. Doberman Dan is off the chain.
I have an interesting game I play with my wife at Wal-Mart.
I thought that was going another direction.
I try to play this game. She refuses to play. She's not amused in the least little bit. So there's a point system, and it's basically those who have less points win, kind of like golf. You know, the lower the score, I guess, means you're the winner. So every person you see who's obese, that gets 1 point, for example. Okay. Every person who is obese, and this usually applies to the women, but is in stretchy pants, so they get 2 points. Every person who's morbidly obese, who's in shorts with their ass hanging out, gets 3 points. Every person who's morbidly obese who has a tattoo gets 4 points. Every person who's morbidly obese and has a tattoo on their neck, that's worth big points there. That's like 7 points. So now my perception seems to be every time I go to Walmart, like I'm just racking up the points, because those morbidly obese people with their ass cheeks hanging out of their short shorts and a tattoo on their neck, they're everywhere I look. And my wife is just not at all amused with this game. Like I said, refuses to play. But when I see somebody who's not morbidly obese and has no tattoos, like I make a big deal. Like, look. There's a person who's not morbidly obese and they're not covered in tattoos. Look at that.
What a
it's
weirdo.
like an anomaly. And she gets all pissed off about it. But so here's my question. Why is everybody in Walmart so fat? And again, this just may be a perception thing. And it may be that, like, I just seem to notice it more in Walmart, but it's everywhere, because the statistics I'm reading are 35.7% of adults in the U.S. are considered obese. So we're not talking about, like, a little chunky, little overweight, lose a few pounds. Obese. Obese means obese. More than 1 in 20 are considered extremely obese.
Wow.
Okay. Those are the people so freaking big they've got their own orbit. You know, like they can't even walk. They're on the thing, like in the movie Wall-E, which when I saw that must have come out at least 12 years ago. When I saw that movie, I told my wife, this is prophetic. This is the very near future, because everybody was morbidly obese and they didn't walk anymore. They got around on these floating scooters, and they had these screens on the scooters, and they were always involved in a conversation with the screen on their scooter, even though there were thousands of people right next to them. They never even looked at them or never interacted with them. And I told my wife, that's a prophecy right there. That's where we're headed. And she's like, oh, geez, you're so skeptical and full of crap. And now look what's happened. 35% of adults in the U.S. are obese. More than 1 in 20 are extremely obese. And almost 3 out of 4 Americans, 74%, are considered to be overweight. So we got that. And the morbidly obese ones are carting their fat asses around on scooters. And as far as the Wall-E movie, people not interacting with human beings that are right beside them, instead having their face planted in a device, communicating with other people. Well, that one came true too. That's everybody in their smartphones. But anyway, aside from all those statistics, they don't seem to be at all accurate when I'm in Walmart. Again, maybe this is just my perception, but we've learned from psychology, perception is reality. Okay. So my perception is when I go to Walmart, the statistics are more like 98 out of 100 are obese in Walmart. And so that begs the question, why? Well, I think the answer is pretty simple when you look in their shopping carts, because you're going to find it's loaded with soda, or as we called it back in the Midwest, pop. Like it's a staple of their diet. All these 2 liters of soda. Like they don't drink water. It's all soda. It's a staple, Well, we got 4 basic food groups, we got soda, grains, sugar, soda, and moon pies, dag nabbit.
Moon pies, gotta have them.
So look at all that junk, ice cream, pastries, all the grains, all the high carb stuff, and it's sad because like the lowest cost stuff is the highest carb stuff. It's all the grains. The stuff that's the cheapest is the unhealthiest. All the grains, the high fructose corn syrup loaded stuff, the produce and grass fed beef and organic chicken, organically raised eggs, free range eggs. That stuff's expensive. So, like we talked about last week, man, the Alice people, the people who are, they're working regular jobs, what in the past used to be middle-class jobs, but they can't make a middle-class income and they got to make ends meet somehow. So they buy the cheap food and they're eating all this food that causes this obesity problem. So you look in their carts and that explains, why everybody in Walmart is fat. But there's also another issue going on here. The real problem is they're relying on the wrong people for their diet and health information. So they've bought into the government lie and the media lie. If the media says it, it must be true that, well, we got this food pyramid and, grains need to be a significant portion of your diet. And, that lie has been perpetuated for decades. And the whole low fat thing, well, to be healthy, you got to eat low fat. Now, by the way, if you care to know the trivia by that, somebody took a flawed theory that was done by this Russian named Kirchhoff that was flawed from the very beginning. And they took that flawed theory and ran with it. And Ansel Keys was the guy who really took that and ran with it. And with falsifying his studies, whatever he did a 32 country study and only used 7 countries out of the study. The 7 countries that backed up his flawed theory that high grain diet, low fat diet is healthy and is responsible for low rates of heart attack. He took those 7 countries, threw away the other, whatever it was, the other 25 that said the opposite, got his face on Time magazine and get recognized as, now decades later, they realized that theory was flawed from the beginning and that couldn't be more true. And that government period perpetuated by the media is what fomented the obesity epidemic, the diabetes epidemic, and this low cholesterol thing and low cholesterol drugs is probably evidence is pointing to the fact is what has made Alzheimer's the number 1 killer of people now in the country.
Wow.
So people bought into that and are eating all this grain, high carbohydrate, high fructose corn syrup loaded shit, genetically modified shit. And that's what's in their cart because they relied on the wrong people for their information. They relied on con men who told them a con, which was all meticulously engineered to make a handful of people rich, like Big Pharma for one. And look at the results. The results are we got
More
a
sick
ton of fat people in Walmart. Like Walmart disproportionately amount of fat people. And of course, now, of course, the obesity epidemic here in the States. And I'm seeing the same thing in business. People relying on the wrong sources of information, finding some guru on Facebook who has hung out a shingle as whatever guru he is, but has never had any successful experience doing what he is teaching everybody else to do. And then so everybody follows that advice like lemmings, and they want to know why they can't make things work. They can't get things working. It's the same reason why everybody's fat in Walmart. They went to the wrong source for their information. So the message is, whether it's your health, your business, whatever it is, you better seek out a proven source with the proof to show that what they're teaching and what they're advocating is successful and has been successful for the dude teaching it and for the other clients he's working with. Because I swear, I do not want you to wind up, another obese person riding the cart in Walmart with tattoos on your neck.
And Dan getting 7 points for spotting you. I think we need to get a graphic designer to make one of those scorecards and put it on the post. Download your scorecard now. That's our opt-in bribe for this episode.
I don't know if the website still exists, but there used to be a really funny website called The People of Walmart. I'm sure it's still up there, but oh gosh, what a laugh fest to see some of the outfits that people go to Walmart in. That was a funny website. I have to check and see if it's still available.
I think it's interesting. I didn't know where you were going with that, and you turned it into something else. I thought we were going to be talking government conspiracies and how that was another one where they just feed you shit till you get sick and send you to a doctor, and that's just a different way of entrapping you as a slave. But I guess it's like that online too, isn't it? Like, here's what I've seen, and I think we may have talked about this on the air, but there's gurus out there that make shit so complicated that they have these big diagrams and everything, and I think you and I may have talked about on the air, maybe personally, but isn't that part of the thing is that they want to give you all this information to keep you dumb, so you're sucking at their teat?
Yeah, that's true. And there are people who deliberately seek out the, whatever you want to call them, the BizOp crowd, the wantrepreneur crowd, and sell stuff that doesn't work because their dopamine high or whatever they get from buying the thing, they're like addicts, and they get this month's dopamine high from buying the one thing, and the next month the guy has to create the next bright shiny object, and he literally tries to build a list of those people who are addicts seeking that dopamine high because they know they won't do anything with the stuff. The mere act of buying is their fix, is their heroin fix, and they get all the oxytocin and dopamine boost and all that other good feel-good chemicals from buying the thing so that he can just keep offering that fix month after month. Well, you better look at the fruit on the tree, that if you're really looking for something that works, check out the fruit. Make sure that it's working for other people. Make sure it's based on the solid foundations of direct response marketing, because, whether you realize it or not, that's what online marketers are. They're marketers using direct response strategies and principles. They're just using it in an online media. And those strategies and principles haven't changed since Sears first came out with their mail order catalog. So if it's not based upon solid, proven, direct marketing strategies and principles, it's probably just some BBSO, bullshit, bright, shiny object designed to give their addicts their monthly fix because they feel like the mere act of buying has now, that's their way of taking, I took action, took action on my dream. I bought a product and next month they buy the next fix.
So many places, so many deep, dark places we could go there. All right, Dan, anything else as we're wrapping up?
No, that was it. I'm all talked out for this week, but looking forward to being back again next week.
All righty. So another Off the Chain show is in the can, boys and girls. We'll be back next time. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Canine Crew got a special treat for you, what we are affectionately referring to as the Off the Chain hotline. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Ask questions. We don't care. Just call 321-424-6043 and give us a piece of your mind.
This is the podcastfactory.com.